Alright guys, let's be honest. We've all been there, staring at our phone, wondering why she didn't text back, or scratching our heads after a date that felt good, but went nowhere. You've probably heard all sorts of advice: be taller, make more money, drive a flashier car. But what if I told you there's a deeper truth? A potent secret hiding in plain sight that, once unlocked, fundamentally shifts the game. It's not about tricks or tactics. It's about a fundamental understanding of human psychology that, when mastered, makes you undeniably magnetic. Prepare for a paradigm shift that will redefine every interaction you have with women, from the first glance to a lasting connection. For centuries, dating advice has been a confusing maze, often leading us down paths that end in frustration. We've been fed myths about what truly attracts women, leading to a constant pursuit of external validation, physical perfection, or superficial swagger. But here's the stark truth. Attraction isn't something you do. It's something you are. Every tactic, every rehearsed line, every attempt to manipulate interest actually screams one thing: insecurity. If you're trying to use a technique to get a woman to like you, it's often because, on some level, you don't believe you're good enough just by showing up as yourself. This overcompensation becomes a transparent barrier, pushing away the very connection you crave. Think about it. We live in an era of digital fatigue and emotional burnout, where genuine connection often gets lost in a sea of performative interactions. In this landscape, the man who understands the raw wiring of human emotions, who can genuinely attune to emotional nuance, becomes a rare and powerful force. This isn't about playing manipulative games. It's about understanding the subtle, yet profound, emotional dynamics that play out in every relationship, the overlooked currency of attention. While your focus is gold, few things are as unsettling to a woman as the sudden realization that she's no longer the center of your attention. Whether she's consciously aware of it or not, your attention acts as a powerful currency. Where you choose to focus your energy reveals what you truly value, and for a woman, the presence or absence of your attention sends signals that go far beyond her ego. It speaks to her sense of emotional safety, her connection to you, and sometimes even her self-worth. When that attention disappears or weakens, it can trigger unexpected emotional responses: confusion, frustration, perhaps even a sense of rejection or urgency. And it's in those reactions that you begin to see her true emotional patterns, her attachment style, and the depth of the bond you've built, or haven't. Let's unpack how women typically react when they sense your attention is slipping away. It's not always a conscious calculation on their part, but these are deeply wired psychological responses. First, she might suddenly want to talk more. Remember those casual conversations that flowed effortlessly when you were consistently reaching out, showing interest, and staying emotionally present? She got used to that. But when you quietly pull back your energy, she feels the gap. Suddenly, you're getting messages at unexpected times, thoughtful questions, or conversations that feel more emotionally open than they used to. This isn't always manipulative. Sometimes it's genuine curiosity or concern. But often, she's seeking reassurance, trying to determine if she still holds emotional weight in your life. The key here is to stay grounded. Just because she's initiating more doesn't mean you owe her immediate clarity or validation. Let her feel the shift. This space reveals whether she genuinely values you or just enjoyed being in your spotlight. Second, she might try to make you jealous. This is a classic, often unconscious reaction. When your attention was constant, it filled an emotional space, making her feel validated and secure. When that disappears, there's a void. If she can't get your focus back through connection, she might try to provoke a reaction. This can be subtle, casually mentioning another guy who messaged her, dropping a new name she met, or posting curated photos on social media, looking especially polished, perhaps with another man in the background. She's living her best life, and every post seems designed to catch your eye. This isn't an accident. She's testing the emotional waters to see if you still care. Many men fall into the trap here, chasing again, texting more, trying to figure out who these new guys are. But the moment you react, you're giving her exactly what she wanted. Confirmation that she still holds influence over you. The smart move? Stay centered. Recognize it for what it is, a signal that your absence has affected her, not a sign she's happier without you. When you stop reacting to these attempts to provoke emotion, you fundamentally shift the dynamic. She's then left with a choice: show up more authentically or fade out. Third, her ego might go into overdrive. Your consistent attention, whether you intended it or not, became a form of validation for her. It told her she was desirable, valued, and emotionally important. When that steady stream of reinforcement disappears, the ego doesn't just stay quiet. It scrambles to protect itself. This is when you might notice her acting a little more arrogant, putting on a stronger than necessary front, or going out of her way to show you, or the world, that she's completely unaffected. Phrases like, "I've got guys lining up," or "I don't have time for this drama," are often defense mechanisms, reactions to emotional dissonance, not reflections of peace. She's trying to convince herself, and maybe you, that she's still in control, that she doesn't need your attention. But the overcompensation itself is the sign. Your attention mattered more than she expected. Again, this doesn't make her a villain, it makes her human. Don't get pulled into proving your worth or matching her energy. Stay steady. When you recognize these behaviors as emotional defenses rather than declarations of strength, you give yourself the power to respond with calm clarity, which is where real connection or real clarity can finally begin to emerge. She might also start focusing on herself in a performative way, wanting you to see her thriving, looking amazing, and having a full, fun life. This is another attempt to craft an image and send a message. Look at me, I'm doing great without you. The key for you is to not get caught up in this ego show. Your calm, steady presence will cause that ego-driven behavior to lose momentum. Fourth, she might play hot and cold. One moment she's warm, sweet, maybe even flirty. The next, she's distant, cold, or acts like she couldn't care less. These aren't random mood swings. When you were giving her consistent attention, she knew exactly where she stood. Once that fades, uncertainty creeps in, making her want to test the waters. She'd turn up the charm to see if you'll respond the way you used to. If you don't, she might pull back just as fast to protect herself from chasing or losing face. This back and forth can be confusing, making you wonder if she's interested or not. But this pattern isn't about you. It's about her trying to figure out how much control she still has in the dynamic, to see if she can draw your focus back without fully putting herself out there. The key is not to take the bait. The more you stay calm and steady, without reacting to the highs or the lows, the less power this game has. If she's genuine, she'll eventually drop the act. If it was only about attention, she'd get bored when she realizes you won't push her buttons anymore. Your attention is valuable. Once you stop giving it away so freely, people start showing you how much they actually respected it in the first place. Fifth, she might test your patience. This can happen in small, subtle ways or in more obvious ones. What she's really trying to do is see if she still has influence over your emotions. She's asking herself, can I still get a reaction from him? Does he still care enough to get under his skin? These tests come in many forms. She might be a bit more difficult on purpose, saying things that challenge you or teasing you in ways that feel less playful and more like pushing your buttons. She might cancel or change plans at the last minute to see how you respond, or act like she's too busy to engage with you the way she used to, hoping you'll lose your cool or chase harder to win her back. The most important thing here is to recognize these tests without getting caught up in them. Don't let her behavior dictate your mood or your value. Stay patient, stay grounded, and don't take the bait. When you maintain your calm, you communicate that your self-worth isn't dependent on her approval or emotional gains. Your patience is a sign of strength. Holding your ground shows you're not easily swayed, and your attention can't be manipulated. Sixth, she acts like she doesn't care. She might put on a cool, detached front, like your shift in focus hasn't affected her in the slightest. But here's the truth. If she really didn't care, she wouldn't need to act like she didn't. Care, that act itself gives it away. Your attention was something she was used to, maybe even counted on. When it's gone, she feels that absence. But instead of showing it openly, because nobody wants to look vulnerable, she does the opposite. She tries to appear unbothered as a form of self-protection. This can show up in little ways. She might stop engaging like she used to, no longer responding to your stories, posts, or messages. Not because she's truly indifferent, but because she wants you to notice her silence. It's her way of saying, "See, I'm good without you," even though inside she's wondering why things changed. This is where a lot of guys get confused, thinking she's over it. But often, the truth is the opposite. That distant attitude is a mask. She's watching to see if you'll notice her pulling back, if you'll chase her, if you'll give her a reason to drop the act. The key for you is to see through this. Don't assume that just because she's acting unfazed that she really is. And more importantly, don't feel like you need to prove anything or break your focus just to respond to that act. Stay steady. Let her be the one to drop the mask if she truly wants to reconnect. Finally, she starts chasing what she took for granted, you. When nothing else has worked, she often begins putting in the work to get your attention back. This means you, the guy who was always there, always making the effort, suddenly feels like he's slipping away. At first, it might look like she's being more thoughtful, checking in more often, being sweeter, or dropping hints about spending time together again. On the surface, that can feel good, and sometimes it really is genuine. But here's where you need to pause and reflect. Why did it take you pulling back for her to see your value? Why wasn't she showing this energy when you were already giving your best? Many men slip up here. The moment she starts chasing, you might feel relieved or flattered, thinking, "Finally, she sees me." And then, you jump right back into giving her the attention she missed. The problem is, if you move too fast, you kill the lesson. The effort she's making can disappear just as quickly as it started when she feels she's got you back. So don't get caught sleeping. Take a step back and reflect. Ensure the change is real, not just a temporary reaction to losing the spotlight. Your attention is valuable. Act like it. The right woman won't need you to pull back to appreciate she see your value from the start, and match your energy without games. Beyond the surface. Debunking attraction myths. Before we dive into the true secret, let's dismantle some of the pervasive myths that hold men back. These societal narratives are often misleading and prevent us from cultivating genuine, lasting attraction. First, the enduring myth of the bad boy. We've all heard the saying, "Nice guys finish last," implying women are only drawn to rebellious, cocky, alpha types. But psychological research consistently debunks this. For long-term relationships, women overwhelmingly prioritize supportive, kind, and dependable partners, while some might be drawn to exciting or dominant men for short-term flings. The foundation for a deep, committed connection is built on honesty, respect, and stability. In fact, studies show kindness has a greater impact on a man's attractiveness than humor or even intelligence. The idea of the alpha male as a macho hero and others as shy losers is a gross oversimplification. Women often prefer men who are secure, warm, and empathetic. Overly domineering or dismissive behavior usually backfires. Modern dating culture, and even relationship therapists, emphasize that emotional intelligence and a spirit of partnership are far more compelling than outdated bravado. Next, the misconception that looks are all that matters. While a pleasant appearance can certainly catch a woman's eye initially, surveys and experiments reveal that traits like kindness and intelligence often outrank mere physicality for long-term attraction. Kindness, specifically, has been found to be the single most valued trait across cultures. Anecdotal evidence from countless women confirms this. They fall for good hearts and humor, not just pretty faces. Physical attractiveness may open the door, but genuine, lasting attraction requires something more profound. Then there's the money and status myth, painting women as gold diggers solely after wealthy men. While financial stability is a valued trait and historically, women did seek providers for survival and offspring, the idea that money alone drives attraction is deeply misleading. Research shows women weigh a man's earning potential more than men do, but they never ignore personality. Companionship, shared values, and kindness often matter far more in the long run. Women aren't attracted directly to wealth or status. They're attracted to the behaviors that indicate a man genuinely possesses these qualities: confidence, a relaxed demeanor, happiness, and being less stressed. If a man suddenly inherited a fortune, he'd likely become more confident and relaxed, and it's these underlying behavior patterns that women instinctively pick up on as attractive, not just the money itself. They seek a partner who can provide security and support in unexpected situations, not simply a flashy bank account. Another common obsession for men is height. It's true that many women might express a preference for taller partners, but the myth that women will never date shorter men is greatly exaggerated. Real-life couples demonstrate significant flexibility, with many relationships flourishing between partners closer in height, or even where the woman is taller. Ultimately, a man's confidence and personality often override a few inches of stature. Similarly, the belief that women exclusively desire men with huge, chiseled muscles is a myth. While women do respond to cues of health and strength, indicating good fitness, moderation is key. A toned, athletic build is generally appealing, but extremely bulked-up bodies are not universally preferred or strictly necessary. A genuinely active lifestyle and self-assured confidence tend to matter far more than raw muscle size. Finally, the pervasive myth that women are turned off by sensitive or emotional men needs to be shattered. This idea that men must hide their feelings is fundamentally damaging. In reality, emotional intelligence and empathy are highly valued traits. Cross-cultural surveys consistently rank kindness, thoughtfulness, and emotional support at or near the top of what people seek in a long-term partner. A caring, attentive man is indeed very attractive. However, there's a crucial distinction. Being excessively needy or insecure can be a turn-off. While genuine warmth and empathy are attractive, constant doting or an inability to stand on one's own can sometimes reduce perceived masculinity, as it suggests a burden of emotional labor. The ideal is a healthy balance, a man who can show warmth and empathy without sacrificing his self-assurance. Cultural shifts are increasingly praising the modern man who embraces sensitivity in a healthy, grounded way, the unstoppable power of grounded confidence, the true secret revealed. So, if it's not just looks, money, or an artificial alpha act, what is the secret ingredient that makes a man magnetic? It all boils down to grounded confidence and genuine emotional intelligence. This isn't the loud, arrogant bravado that masks insecurity. It's a quiet, unshakable certainty in oneself that radiates outward, signaling stability and strength. Confidence, at its core, is the belief that everything will turn out okay when you attempt something. It forms the bedrock for trust, effective communication, and overall relationship satisfaction. Women are drawn to confidence because it implicitly signals a host of other desirable but hard-to-observe traits: competence, drive, social status, and genuine kindness. When a man is truly confident, he is grounded in his truth, accepting his basic goodness and the okayness of his experience. He trusts himself and the integrity of his actions, which is profoundly attractive. This leads us to the critical connection between confidence and vulnerability. In many traditional narratives, vulnerability implies weakness, being exposed to attack or harm. But researcher Brené Brown reframes vulnerability as uncertainty, risk, and emotional exposure. Through this lens, vulnerability becomes an act of immense courage and bravery. Displaying this kind of bravery elicits respect and admiration, not only from male peers but also from potential female mates. It's an integral part of the masculine warrior culture we've inherited, not a betrayal of it. For a woman, witnessing this courageous vulnerability in a man is deeply compelling. It's the difference between an unclean vulnerability laden with approval-seeking, shame, or self-judgment, which comes from a disempowered place and burdens her with the need for validation and a powerful, authentic revelation. Imagine a man with a strong spine and an open heart, even with tears in his eyes. This paradoxical image can be a turn-on for a woman because it demonstrates immense strength and dignity. He can reveal something deep about himself without collapsing or pleading for approval. This isn't about oversharing or dumping emotional baggage. It's about strategically choosing moments to be transparent, to share your hurt, excitement, fear, or needs. This transparency invites others in, opening the door to genuine connection and building profound trust. Why is this so potent? In our closest relationships, vulnerability is the precursor to intimacy. Intimacy, in turn, is the meat and potatoes of a healthy, evolving relationship. When you reveal your deep truth, you invite others in, and that invitation is the opening for connection. For women, in particular, feeling a sense of heart connection and sensing that you are not hiding things makes them feel safe enough to open up physically and emotionally. Psychological roots of this attraction run deep. In ancient times, men were valued and revered for protecting and providing for their tribe. Displaying weakness or an inability to perform under pressure was a threat to the whole group, risking ostracization and devalued social standing. So men learned to hide any sign of weakness as a survival strategy. However, in our modern era of relative safety and gender equality, the traditional roles of physical protector and soul provider have shifted, creating a vacancy in male purpose that many men find vulnerable in itself. Yet, the underlying drive for strength and purpose remains. Courageous vulnerability, then, becomes a modern expression of strength, signaling a man's capacity to navigate the nebulous, uncertain territory of emotions and risk, qualities that are still incredibly attractive. It shows a willingness to confront fears and step into the unknown, leading to growth and new possibilities, cultivating the inner landscape, emotional intelligence, and self-mastery. Path to this magnetic confidence and attraction is rooted in developing emotional intelligence. EI and mastering your inner world. EI is a social capacity that plays a vital role in all our relationships. It's the ability to be aware of, control, and express emotions in a healthy manner. And some experts even argue it's more important for life success than IQ, according to psychologist Daniel Goleman. Emotional intelligence is characterized by 5 key elements: self-awareness, understanding your own feelings and how they influence your thoughts and actions. This means you're not a mystery to yourself, and you can detach from your emotions enough to analyze them. Self-regulation, the ability to manage your emotions effectively, adapting to change and handling impulses. This is crucial for avoiding emotional explosions and responding intentionally rather than reacting from old wounds. Motivation, your drive to achieve goals and a strong commitment to your purpose. Women are drawn to a man who knows what he wants and goes after it, demonstrating ambition and direction in life. Empathy, the capacity to understand and share the feelings of others. This is about truly listening, not just waiting for your turn to talk. It's about tuning into her essence, her dreams, frustrations, and quiet strengths, making her feel truly seen and valued. Social skills, the ability to guide people effectively, influence them, and build strong relationships through better communication. This involves understanding the connection between your actions and others' emotional reactions and respecting boundaries. Emotionally intelligent individuals are proactive rather than reactive. They understand that their thoughts create their emotions, giving them the power to decrease the intensity of negative feelings. They can reason with their emotions, read others' emotions, and make good decisions about their lives. This self-mastery translates into healthy, lasting relationships, as compatibility in emotional intelligence is a significant predictor of success. Communication is the bedrock of this inner game. It's the missing link in many unhappy relationships and the precursor to true intimacy. Healthy, secure relationships thrive on open, respectful, and emotionally honest communication. But many of us didn't grow up with role models who demonstrated this effectively. To master this, consider these principles. Wear your heart on your sleeve. This doesn't mean oversharing every fleeting emotion, but being emotionally honest and transparent about what truly matters. Instead of saying, "I'm fine," when you're hurt, try, "I'm feeling a little hurt and unsure how to talk about it, but I want to." This openness invites closeness. Focus on your needs. Instead of blaming your partner for what they did wrong, shift to what you need. For example, instead of "you never make time for me," try, "I feel really connected when we set aside time to be together. That's something I need to feel secure." Needs are not weaknesses. They are roadmaps to deeper connection. Be specific. Vague complaints are easily dismissed. Offer concrete examples to foster clarity and collaboration. Instead of "you're so distant lately," try, "when we eat dinner in silence and go straight to our phones afterward, I feel disconnected. I'd love it if we could share something about our day, even for 5 minutes." Don't blame. When you feel wounded, it's easy to adopt a harsh tone. But to move forward, communicate from a place of clear expression of your needs. Instead of "you always ignore me," try, "when I don't hear from you all day, I start to feel unimportant. I know that may not be what you intend, but that's where my mind goes." This helps your partner listen and promotes mutual understanding. It's about being heard, not being right. Beyond communication, self-care and boosting your self-esteem are vital. You can't truly be confident in a relationship if you don't accept and love yourself. This involves recognizing and celebrating your strengths, avoiding negative self-talk, building healthy boundaries, practicing gratitude, and nurturing a strong support network. When you care for your mental and physical health, you acknowledge your worthiness of love and respect. Low self-esteem, conversely, can lead to self-sabotage, fear of intimacy, and a lack of trust in relationships. Part of this self-mastery also involves being comfortable alone. Neediness is one of the most unattractive qualities a man can possess. Combat it by spending time in self-discovery, reading, thinking, meditating. This conscious effort to shed social pressures and influences helps you define who you are and what you truly want out of life, which is wildly attractive to women. They love a man who knows what he wants and goes after it. Finally, understanding human behavior patterns, as Robert Greene suggests, is crucial. Your character is your fate, a core part of you that shapes your behaviors. Focus on cultivating a strong character. Be adaptable, fluid, willing to admit when you're wrong, capable of learning from experience, open to criticism, and able to work well with others. Don't be fooled by charming exteriors. Pay attention to people's consistent actions, not just their words. This applies to yourself as well. Observe your own patterns, understand your emotions, and work towards regulating them. This profound self-awareness helps you navigate relationships masterfully, ensuring you don't fall into common traps like the friend zone by being a people pleaser or adopting an unclean vulnerability that signals insecurity. Women naturally test men's strength. They want a partner who can remain centered when she is unsure, emotional, or moody. The man who consistently demonstrates this ability to persist and provide a stable emotional environment, prioritizing his mission and purpose, is the man she will naturally be drawn to and pursue. The outer game. Enhancing your presence. While inner work is paramount, don't neglect your physical presence. Appearance matters, not as the sole determinant of attraction, but as a slice of the pie. It's about putting in effort and presenting yourself in a way that aligns with your inner confidence. Here are some practical steps to enhance your physical attractiveness. Develop a personal style. Don't just wear random clothes. Think about the image you want to project. Does your style reflect the unique person you are, or are you just another average guy? Aim for clothes that fit well and enhance your look. Hit the gym consistently. Even if you're in decent shape, regular exercise will make you look and feel better. If you're not in shape, this is even more critical for boosting your confidence and overall well-being. Get a good haircut. Invest in a quality haircut from a professional stylist. They can recommend a style that suits your face shape, making a significant difference in your overall appearance. Master your body language. Your body language speaks volumes. Film yourself talking to observe fidgeting, expression, and eye contact. Practice open posture, which signals confidence. Talking slowly and using smaller, non-threatening gestures can make a date feel more comfortable, allowing them to relax and engage more deeply with you. Eye contact and a genuine smile are essential, as they activate reward centers in the brain. Maintain good grooming. Pay attention to details. Trim nose and ear hair. Keep your beard well groomed. Address skin issues and eliminate any unibrow. Coordinate your facial hair with your haircut for a polished look. Beyond these basics, subtle cues can enhance attraction. Wearing the color red for heterosexual encounters has been shown to increase perceived attractiveness, leading to more intimate conversations. Additionally, your natural scent can hint at your dominance, and a lower-pitched voice is often perceived as more masculine and attractive by women, though beware. Sexier voices can also be linked to unfaithfulness. It's also important to remember the concept of slow love. Initial physical attraction can change over time. As you get to know someone and they discover your interests, sense of humor, and other shared qualities, their perception of your attractiveness can deepen significantly, leading to a profound and lasting connection. This highlights the importance of being present and actively involved in conversations, as attentiveness can make you more attractive. The journey to becoming a truly attractive man is not a quick fix or a series of manipulative tricks. It is a profound commitment to authentic self-improvement, a continuous process of self-discovery, emotional growth, and intentional action. By embracing the principles of grounded confidence, courageous vulnerability, and genuine emotional intelligence, you stop chasing and start attracting. You become a man who is not only comfortable in his own skin, but also inspires those around him to be their best selves. The secret isn't magic, it's mastering yourself. It's about shedding outdated beliefs, embracing genuine vulnerability as a sign of strength, and cultivating emotional intelligence that allows for deep, authentic connection. When you are grounded in your truth, confident in your being, and genuinely present, women will feel it. You won't just be another option. You'll be the man who lingers in her thoughts, the one she truly connects with, and the one she can't help but chase. This journey demands effort, but the payoff is a life rich with profound, lasting relationships built on mutual respect, trust, and undeniable attraction. It's time to stop performing and start living the life that makes you truly irresistible.